Hi, please, please, please like, share, subscribe, comment. That help me out on this. You know what I mean? I really appreciate it. Trying to build something here, and trying to tell people stories, and hopefully you enjoy them. So thanks very much. Peace out.
I'm here with Liam McGeary, ex-Bellator light heavyweight world champion. What we got? 13-4 MMA record. Blew through the division in the light heavyweight for Bellator. Thanks very much for joining me today, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on the show, mate.
What's happening with you? How come you're in the UK? I thought you lived in Hawaii.
Visas, passports. I had to do all the adult stuff. I only get 2 years on my visa, so it's I have to come back and renew it. But my passport, fucking 10 years has gone like that, so I have to renew my passport now as well. So it's just with the coronavirus.
Do it over there?
No, I have to come here
Could
to
you
do
not do it? Okay.
it. Yeah, it has to be.
Bangkok, and it was like took less than 10 days for it to come back from in Bangkok, like super quick.
Oh no, but see, Bangkok, I was all right over there, but I mean, here it's different because I have to have get a waiver. I have to have an interview and go to the embassy. Like, it's not easy. There's a whole lot of shit that goes in. Yeah.
How are you finding that? Because your wife, isn't it now, and child are over in Hawaii still, aren't they?
Yeah.
Children, so
I mean,
when do you think you'll be able to get back? Or when do you think you'll be able to get back?
I'm not 100% sure, right? But I know that I'm going to stand here because it's a bit more better signal, I think. So my son he just got his passport, so they can come over. They are able now to come over here within the next few weeks. So it ain't that bad. We was waiting for his passport, birth certificate, and all you hear is COVID. Everything's shut down, and like it's like fuck's sake, just print off a fucking bit of paper. You know what I mean? But
yeah, it's driving me mad, man. I live in Thailand normally, as I keep saying, like, and I can't get back. I'm in Kenya now for a bit, and it's worse for you, obviously. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
So what are you doing in the UK?
Oh, mate.
Sorry, go on.
I left a while ago, so my garden, my mum's garden, kind of got a little bit overgrown. So I just had to go and sort it out. So my mum's loving the fact that I've had to do 2-week quarantine. I managed to keep on top of the garden, get all the weeds up, and chop everything down. And so yeah, I mean, you know what you got to do, and you just keep yourself busy. I just found myself in the gym, get tattooed today. So
yeah, what ink did you have done?
I just got you know the Day de la Morte?
No.
Day of the Dead, the South American. They celebrate death, Cinco de Mayo. So all the skulls and stuff. So I got the half a face and half a skull on my ribs. For 5-6 hours, mate. Oh my god.
Where'd you get it done on your body?
Where they get on my ribs on the side here.
Oh, that kills on the ribs, doesn't it?
Yeah, so 6 hours there is just like it got uncomfortable a couple of times. And I sweat a little bit.
Yeah, I have got one that just comes round there on my ribs, and it was like when he was doing it, it was killing me.
That's the worst bit there as well.
The worst bit. I've got it goes right under here into my armpit.
But it feels like they're ripping.
My mate was doing. Yeah, my mate was doing the tattooing, and my other mate's going like that. So he's going further and further, and I'm like this.
Yeah, it does hurt. And anyone who says it doesn't hurt, bloody liars, man.
Oh yeah. Everyone, I've got them all over my body now, and that, you know. And they're like I just do traditional tattoos more so now. Like I've been having hand tattoos in Thailand and the Philippines and things, but no.
How was that compared to the other one?
They've only been in big muscles, so like one on my quad, and one on the calf in Borneo, and the one on the things. First time I done it in Thailand, it was weird sensation, but those ones on the muscles, they were quite relaxing. That one in the Philippines, she just snaps a thorn off a tree, gets some charcoal, mixes it up, and then does it with that. Like it's like the last Kalinga twist where you have to climb up a mountain. There wasn't a road to the mountain up the mountain to do it. Like it was amazing.
All right, sounds it.
Yeah, if you ever get the chance, it's well worth a visit. Like it's spectacular there. It's a beautiful place. Like
yeah, that sounds pretty nice.
So I'm doing a bit of fishing.
I am, yes, yeah.
What into?
Huh?
What sort of fishing you into?
Well, I hadn't been fishing in a long time, and I hadn't caught up with my friend for a few years. So he likes to fish. He fishes for carp. I used to do the old float fishing when I was younger, like, but it's now all stepped up. The game's all changed, and he's like, I just seen his fishing. It was just a good excuse, catch up, have a good few beers, have a bit of a smoke, chill out, you know, just sit by the pond and not worry about anything really. It was nice. And caught fish at the end of it.
Did you stay there overnight, or?
Yeah, we got there at 9 o'clock in the morning. We got there and we stayed right the way through to like 10 o'clock the next day. So a good 25-hour job, yeah.
I think you caught one. Well, catch anything else?
No, just one fish. So the lake we're at, I know. The lake we're at, right, was very hard to fish. No one pulled any fish out. We was the only ones who pulled fish out that night. But the average size of the fish was 22 pounds. Like there's some big 40-pounders in there. Yeah, there's some big boys in there. But they're cleverer.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're now seeing, because they're getting caught all the time, so they're getting wise to it. So they know which bait to eat, and they know where. Like it's a sight. It's the same as anything. It's like hunting. You know what I mean? You've got to set traps. You need to use a plan. You can't just be like. You need to have an attack plan. You know.
You broke up a little bit then. So do you fish when you're out away?
No, I mean the sea fishing, but I've spent the last year injured, so it's been very difficult to do anything in Hawaii. But I just hang out with my kids and have fun.
Cool. So talking about your injury, how was that with the broken jaw? I was just watching some stuff about you talking about that today, and it was like, fuck, man, that must have been rough.
Yes. Yeah, it was. It wasn't a nice experience. Having the one surgery and then going and doing another surgery straight afterwards without even having a chance to open up my mouth was 6 months being wired shut, man. Like you can imagine. You know, you had more conversations in your head than you did with anyone else. People would just ask you what you were saying, and they didn't understand you. And like, well, why you keep asking me? And if you don't understand, I can't talk. Like, just so I wrote on a text message, or I had this app where I'd write in, and then it would speak what I was saying. It was just it was soul destroying, mate.
I couldn't imagine. The only thing I had is a fractured a bone in my neck once, and I was in the collar for 3 months, and that done my head in. Let alone having my jaw wired shut. I like the sound of my own voice. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Just trying to have a normal conversation. Do you want to have a cup of tea? You know what I mean? It's like,
oh man, I don't know. You done it. So everything's cool with that now. You got the all clear sparring.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gone sparring. I haven't. I don't know. I mean, I'm not rushing into anything. You know, it was a bad break, so I don't want it to go breaking again, going back too soon. So I'm just going to play it by ear. I've got loads of stuff to do anyway, so I kind of put a lot of things off to pursue my fight career, and now everything's all like piled up, waiting for me to get back.
So where you at with your fight career now? You still with Bellator, yeah?
Yeah, still with Bellator. Still have a couple of fights. Yeah, they know the score, man. You know, it's like they know that I changed my style around. My fight game had changed, and that fight against Phil Davies was proved it. I mean, I watched the fight the other week, and it's actually a good fight. You know, he broke my jaw. You know, I lost the fight because I
Yeah.
broke my jaw, and who knows where that was going in the third round had he not have broke my jaw. So
Yeah.
all I know is I was going to go after him with everything I had for that whole 5 minutes, and something was going to land on his fucking head. But he got that jab in, and then too late. So
He's difficult to against Bill Davis, like.
he's a weird style of fighter. So like the last time I just attacked him and he took me down. So
Yeah.
and then he laid on me for 25 minutes every round. So I was like, this is not fucking happening again. So I gave him I gave him too much respect, I think, because the minute he took me down, he couldn't hold me down. I got straight back up, and I was like, well, that's what I've been avoiding these last 10 minutes. I was like, you know what, let's go. So you take me down, we just get back up. But then, yeah, that happened. I had to turn it off when I watched the movie. I was like, I know how the ending goes.
Yeah, I bet. I don't know if I'd be that again, like, especially that, you know, because that's brutal, isn't it? So
yeah.
So have you got a timeline for coming back, or you just whenever and when you feel like it?
Yeah, I'm just, you know, like I say, man, I've got this 2020 has been a weird year for everyone, you know. So I'm just, I need to get my visa sorted. There's a lot of things I'm going to sort out, and then and just get everything in line, really. I will be going back. I was planning on going back December, but we'll have to see. You know, I mean, we'll have to see what they're putting on shows as well. But like I said, I'm not rushing this one, and they shouldn't rush me, you know.
No, because you done them a solid when you first started fighting there. What was it? Was it?
Dude, I had fucking
was it 9 fights?
Yeah.
2 years? Or 8 was it in the first 2 years?
Yes.
That was it.
One
You won the title in 2, didn't you?
Yeah.
And the Tito one was just a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah. But then I had surgery. Yeah, I had surgery after the Tito fight, and that was it. The body was like, oh no, you old motherfucker, you ain't doing this anymore.
What do you reckon that was from? MMA fights or fights in the street?
I think fights in the streets. No, I think maybe the fights in the street. Well, the fights in the streets wasn't really, like, I used to beat the crap out of people, so it wasn't anything like that. I think my previous job, I was a steel fixer. So I worked in construction a lot. So walking on steel bars across mats and stuff, it's not going to do your bones any good, you know, humping that fucking steel around all day. So it's that took a toll on my body. And I worked as well. Like I was one of them 12 hours working, 12 hours driving, like home, back 12 hours the next day. So that's why when I came into MMA, my work rate, people were surprised at my work rate. And it's like, well, I'm used to working 12-hour shifts wrestling steel. Like you give me 4 hours of wrestling dudes all day long, let's go. So
yeah, I used to work on sites, like, and it gives you a different strength, doesn't it? A lot of people say to us, you're fucking hell, you're strong, and it's not that bodybuilding strength, is it? Because you do it all day, and it's
weird angles.
Yeah. And I used to work welding as well, so we'd handball steel off the back of trucks.
Right.
You know, you'd be fucking emptying truck with steel, like, and you boom, 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 and you on sites, it's always a competition to try and fuck the other person up, isn't it? As well, yes. Like, you know what I mean, to show that you could do that more than they could do. Sorry.
I worked with my dad as well, so when we're feeding the steel bars in, you'd give it an extra turn and cut all his hand open, yelling and sorry, mate.
I used to do it with the big boxes, you know, big boxes of steel. Just before you got it to the floor, you drop it, and the fucking other fellas at the other end.
Yeah. It's all for a laugh, eh?
So, I used to fucking love all that fucking about at work. You know what I mean? I miss that now because I work like teaching, and it's just you don't have the crack like working on a building site or in a factory in the UK. You can't get away with anything, can you?
No.
You know what I mean?
No. The rules will change, and
like for you, if people are trash talking you, does it bother you from after working on building sites?
No, thick skin. But I've had it all my life, so you kind of hear one, it's like, mate, I heard that one before. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, that kind of shit never bothers me. That's why I fought so much, because I just settled shit with my fists. I was never one for chatting back. You wanted to just talk shit, then I'll just smack you in the face. Let's see you talk shit after that. And then they never used to, so like, that was it.
Do you never get arrested?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
You always get... Oh.
Yeah.
It's just the way you talk, it's like as if you never got banged up, man.
Oh, no, man. Yeah, I was forever getting arrested. Fucking Jesus Christ, here we go again. Like, you again? Yeah. But I was always self-defense as well. But there was always more of them, so like that's why I could get away with it.
Is that what happened in Wolvo when you're in Wolves?
Wolves, Andover, any town I really lived in. Yeah. But Wolves was pretty bad, yeah. Yeah, that was. Yeah, you know Wolverhampton. Yeah.
I've not been out in a night on Wolverhampton. Been out in Birmingham and things like that. But I know it was quite bad at one stage, wasn't it?
It was a stage when I was living there in the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, when there's a lot of drugs there wasn't there a lot of drug wars?
Yeah.
So I was out in Manchester at that time in the 90s. So it was quite rough around there at times. Like.
Yeah. I mean, it's better. I've come in now. Been away. Huh?
Sorry?
So been away 10 years, right? And you come back and you're like, whoa, this is a completely different place. Like, where's all the fights and where's everything going on and nothing?
So it's been like it was I've just been back in the UK now, so it's 4 years since I was away, and and it's quite a bit of a different place for me now. Like, is it 10 years since you've been back in the UK?
Oh no, I've been back and forward, but I mean, I've been over in America now 8 years. I lived in Jersey for a couple of years before that, so yeah, like it's just been kind of. You don't actually think about the time you're away until when you do think about it, you're like, Jesus Christ, it's been that long. And then the penny hits and it's like, whoa. So then you start thinking, then it's usually around your birthday as well. You start thinking about it, and you're like, oh my God.
I don't miss it. I've spent 6 weeks in the UK. It's like I need to get out of there now, and that's why I've ended up in Kenya. But, how did you start training those?
How do I start what?
Seems you train at Henzo's, because you train there now, don't you?
Well, so
when you're in the US.
Yeah, so I was at Kurt Pellegrino's gym. I was training there for my first fight. I had to fight, and Big Dan Mergliata was like, after he was the referee, and afterwards he was like, "Hey, listen, I'm putting on a seminar at Henzo's on." I fought on the Thursday. It was when Bellator were doing Thursday night fights. So I fought on the Thursday, and he's like, on Tuesday, I'm putting a seminar on at Middletown, right? He was like, make sure you come. So I was like, all right, sounds. So I went down there. Henzo was there, and Hollis Gracie was there as well. And as soon as I walked in there, I saw you fight on Thursday. And then Henzo was like, Borja, you come to the gym in the city, and you train with us. Familiar. But I come from Braulio Estima. I'm a Braulio Estima black belt. So they know Braulio Estima, and then it's a family thing, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a good strong family bond there with all of the club members. So yeah, it was just 6 years later, training there the whole time. It was mad. It's quite a surreal thing, you know what I mean? Training at Henzo Gracie's in New York City. Like I'm from Kings Lynn, Norfolk. I said training at Henzo Gracie's in New York City. And I'm from Kings Lynn and Norfolk. Like, it's... Nah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
What's it called? So do you train with Danaher Death Squad and all them? So
who?
Or do you not train? When you train there, do you train with John Danaher and the Death Squad? Or do you just train at Henzo's side?
No, John Danaher was my jiu-jitsu coach for the last 5 years, 6 years. So I trained with all of those boys.
How,
I got Gordon Ryan coming in as a scrawny little fucking 15-year-old, 16-year-old, and now look at him. You know what I mean? It's quite
killing it.
nice. It's quite nice to see these people on their journey, you know. And it's like, oh, what? And where he's gone with it. Fair play to all of them. Like it's good. It's very good that you got to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was speaking to Gary Tonin, and he was saying like at first it was difficult to pick up the way John Danaher was, the concept John Danaher had, but once you get it, it really changes your game. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes, completely.
How did you find it?
I loved it. I sucked in everything that he had. It was my game. It was exactly how I played my game, and I was like, so everything he said just fell into place, and I understood all of it, what he was saying, and it's now I do the moves. I do all the moves basically with my eyes closed. You know what I mean? You don't even need to, because we've drilled so much. You don't even need to know what you're doing. You just do it, and it just comes naturally.
That's it, isn't it? If you could do it without thinking, it gives you that split second you need, doesn't it? Before you do it, because I haven't rolled for ages. You know what I mean? I was never any good. There was only ever a white belt, but it was always like, no, I've got to put this hand in. I've got to do this. So by the time I've done that, the other person's something else like.
Yeah.
So I needed to.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice art to learn.
Yeah, I love it. I want to get back into it. I need to find when I get settled again. I want to find myself a jiu-jitsu place that I can do. You know, where I can train. There's places in when I'm in Thailand. There's places I can train, but I work in China, so.
Oh, okay.
Trying to find somewhere there isn't always that easy.
Yeah.
So, what are you doing for training now then?
So like I say, I needed to sort out the garden. That was my main focus. But I'm going to a gym in Wiz Beach. I've got a seminar there on Sunday, and I also train at a gym called Heroes. Like one of the boxing coach I used to train with years and years ago, like I very first started with, and a friend of mine, and they've got like a gym with martial MMA there. So I'll go train there, teach privates and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I just keep myself busy until I can get home.
Yeah. So do you think your family will come over before you go back?
Oh yeah, they'll be here within the next couple of weeks.
Cool.
I can't wait to see it. Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you get into MMA then?
I was always fighting. Always fighting. I got arrested. I was getting arrested too many times. Yeah. And basically it was a case of like, you do this, then you're going to be in trouble. You can hurt. I mean, I seriously hurt somebody the last time, so it made me stop. But the reason why I got into fighting was the recession. The recession kicked in 2008.
Yeah.
Everyone found themselves, the sites closed down. I was like, what the fuck are we going to do? So I was like, I'm just going to go fighting and then see where I go with it. 2012, I'm moving to America, and 2015, world champion.
When did you pick up jiu-jitsu then?
2009.
2009. So when did you get your black belt?
3 years ago.
3 years ago? What's that? 9 years? 8 years?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I never really did the belt system. You know, I left my club in Jersey. I was a blue belt. When I came to America, I was tapping out black belts, brown belts. So I got given my purple belt. And then for years, John didn't give me my brown belt for years, right? And then someone phoned up Braulio and was like, you need to give him his brown belt. So that was just before the Tito fight, I got my brown belt. And then, I got my black belt when I went back home. Like, didn't even think if I was getting it, you know? It was just one of those ones. Braulio was telling a story. And I'm like, I recognize the guy he's talking about. Then he was like, Liam, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. Start crying and everything. It was fucking very emotional.
How did how did getting your black belt compared to winning the Bellator championship? Which
I was much happier getting my black belt. Like there was a lot of emotions involved in the world title. I never knew that these emotions would be there, but there was a lot of things which flew through my mind the minute I was getting that belt, and it took a while for it to sink in. I was more happy like when I beat Tito. That was more, I was like the biggest smile on my face because I knew who that was, and I submitted him as well. So I don't like that whole go to the judges. I mean, I know I won the fight. Like the dude fucking spent getting out 16, 17 submission attempts. You don't win a fight getting out of submission attempts. You know what I mean? So I knew what I did with that guy, and I knew that I won the fight. But it was just like, fuck. He was in jail like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. A lot was going on. Like there's no way you should have been here. Like just one of those ones, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those ones I can't really imagine. You know what it must feel like, whether it's a bit shock or because I see some people and they just run and then explode.
Yeah,
I never feel like that after something for me. But with the Tito fight, that was because of the name Tito, or
things were settled. Yeah. So it all sunk in, and I understood what was going on, and I had time to just soak it in, basically. But yeah, then I was fighting Tito. I was fighting Tito, and that was the fucking living legend, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. How did that feel? Did you used to watch MMA years ago? Have you always followed it, or?
Nah, not really. I remember watching Tito actually one of the first fights, and I'd sitting there, you know, I was blogging with my mate, and next thing you know, I was like, Tito comes on, I was like, I could beat him. My mate was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I can do that. And then next thing you know, who knew that 8 years later I'd be fighting him?
Wicked. I think Tito was one of the first person I started watching when I first started getting into the UFC. When you're watching it going, is this real? Or is it like WWE at first, when I first seen it on Sky? Like, no, that's real. And you see him cracking each other.
My mate showed it to me. He said, "Hey, I've got something to show you. You like this?" He put it on. And I said, people actually do this? He's like, yeah. I was like, I can do this. All I've got to do is just learn jiu-jitsu. He's like, off I went to jiu-jitsu. And then there you go. Next thing you know, I was like, I fucking knew it.
Is that how you started doing jiu-jitsu? Just because?
Pretty much, yeah.
And then, do you do the boxing after that?
No, I did on my boxing. My boxing, I was always boxing. I started boxing young. But then I didn't. I wasn't very good. I kept losing, so I kind of left. And then went to work, but then I carried on fighting in the streets. I realised that I had a passion for fighting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the jiu-jitsu I started learning after I got out of jail.
Okay. What were you in jail for? Fighting?
Fighting, yeah, same thing.
Yeah. Right.
Usual thing.
Were you long there, or was it a short spell?
Oh, it was only a short spell. It's 3 months. But it's
3 months. Open prison.
What?
An open prison.
No. I was in a category B, then they moved me category C.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I was only ever on remand in Walton, and that wasn't nice. Like, they still had slop out. She had to slop out in the morning with the bucket and everything there. It wasn't that good. Like,
yeah.
So throwing out, doing a parcel in the night and throwing it out the window for the guys to pick up in the morning.
I drove past this block of flats and I saw something swinging. Right, it must have been a sheet. It just reminded me of, like, look out the window and you'll see the passing the window from window to window.
It's no fun in there, is it? Like,
nah, I just trained, man. Just took it for what it was.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's character, isn't it? You know what I mean? I'd rather look back on my life and I've done fucking some stupid things. You get through it, and you know, instead of having, I was talking to like Mark Gupp here, and just like, I don't want a life that's just normal and flat. Like, I'd rather have something where I do different stuff and have, you know, I'd rather scars than nothing happening in my life, if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
I
I
don't
see
know
on
about
your
you.
thing,
Is that?
on your Instagram, you said about no regrets, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I've done some stupid things in my life, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I liked your motto there. I've followed that same motto for pretty much all my life, you know? Exactly the same. Don't regret it. It's all experience, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's that, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like one that, like, I've just been away for 12 months cycling, and like the amount of people, oh, be careful, take care. It's like, no, I want to have an adventure. I want to get out. I
Exactly.
want to have fun. And if suppose I'm not going to be stupid and try and get myself killed, you know what I mean? Although
Yeah.
when the Mexican cartel stopped me and they're all fucking jumping out with the guns, like my arsehole was like that.
Oh, Jesus. And you go to these places as well.
But yeah, you know, that's what you do, isn't it? And that, you know, they were all right. It was all right in the end. I'm still here. I've got a great story to tell, and a way to go, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, if you could fight anyone, who would you like to fight? I know you probably ask this one all the time. It's a standard question, isn't it?
Yeah, but I know.
For when you come back, have you got any?
I always give the same answer. I don't know. There's no one. There's no one I'm really in my mind. Oh, I want to fight this guy. Like, to be honest with you, my biggest fight is with myself and over this. So that's the fight I'm battling at the moment. As is everybody else. Everybody else has like, there's a lot of things going on. So my battle will be with myself and then I'll pick out whoever gets it. Like,
Got you. Do you normally call people out?
no, but you know
You
what? I
into
think
that or not?
this time I've been out for such a while. I got my eyes on people, but we'll figure it out. Like I say, I'm not rushing to get back in and fuck myself up even worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go in when we're ready. You know.
Yeah, because the light heavyweights division's sort of getting big in Bellator now, isn't it? You know, with Corey Anderson coming over. Corey Anderson.
Yeah, my old training partner.
Uh-huh. Oh, because he's from New Jersey, isn't he? He's from over that way, isn't he?
Yeah. He helped me win my world title.
So, uh-huh. And and your last win was against one of your friends as well, wasn't it? King Mo.
King Mo, yeah.
How was that? How did that feel? Does that bother you? Fine,
No,
because he's friend, isn't he?
Yeah. He's a mate. We'll text on the regular. It was.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he knew what it was. I knew what it was. Business is business. You know what I mean? So like, I'm glad that kick never landed on his head because I just threw that. That was out of fucking the body going into motion. But I'm so glad that kick never connected. He was hurting my leg. He kept kicking him on the fucking shin.
Yeah, do you want to talk about leg kicks?
No.
How could you walk after that Nemkov?
Dude.
I went like go on.
He broke my leg after the first kick.
Oh, so it was a break?
He fractured my leg with the first kick. When you get leg kicked, you usually feel it and it hurts and then it goes away, right? He hit it, it hurt, then it hurt some more. I was like, shit, this is supposed to have eased off by now. And then he kicked it again and I was like, oh God. Yeah, that wasn't a nice, I had no rights being in there. I had broken bones and I wasn't feeling good. I'd only just broke my thumb as well. So I had 7 weeks healing my thumb. I had 5 pins in my hand for my thumb. And then I'm in the I couldn't throw my right hand.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that's not a.
Like I say, man, I've rushed,
get that.
Yeah, well, I've rushed into fights, back into fights, coming back from injury too many times, and I end up messing myself up. So I will wait till this one's out, and then I'll go back and I won't be messing myself up again. This is the last run I'll be doing. I still got another couple of years, 2 or 3 years of left of this. Get a few more fights in, and then go off into the sunset in Hawaii.
Yeah, wicked, man. What's it like over there? What's so good about living in Hawaii without trying to sound too fucking stupid by asking that question? But for you, what's so good about it?
I like island life. I just like the relaxed. Everything's just don't worry about it. We'll do it tomorrow. I'll get to walk around in a pair of shorts and flip flops all day. Sit on the beach, go walk on the beach, ride bikes on the beach. Like it is nice. The weather, nice weather. Yeah, I mean that's the appeal I got. So that's what makes it. My family.
What's the food like there?
Food's actually my wife cooks. My wife's is a good cook. We eat a lot of Kalua pig. I have a lot of pig. Steak. We eat a lot of steak. Yeah, I mean my diet's always chicken, steak, vegetables, and rice. Really, that's all I ever eat. So yeah, I mean the food's good. Everything's good. Yeah.
I've not been to Hawaii. It's one of those places that you always think about going. You know what I mean? It's one of those places that I'd like to go at some point.
It's far.
And check it out because it looks beautiful. Like so,
Yeah, it is. It is.
So at some point I'll get there.
I'm sure.
So did you say you used to train in Thailand?
No. I went to Thailand on the piss.
Oh, okay. We got any stories for that?
I was there. I was 21 when I was over there. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I was 21, 22 when I went there.
Sorry,
a long time ago.
So what did you get up while you were there?
So we went over. There was 7 or 8 of us that went over there. All lads from Jersey. And we went for about 6 or 7 weeks. Like after about 4 weeks, everyone started disappearing, and I got to go home. I ran out of money when I was there, so I was phoning my dad. I was like, "Dude, I got to get home." He's like, "Where are you?" So I'm stuck in Thailand. Fuck's sake, what the fuck you doing over there? I was like, "Look, just send over some money so I can get my flight." He sends me £100, right? I'm like, "What the fuck is £100 gonna do?" I thought I got to get home. Oh, that's all I can fucking send me. Fucking all right. So I found another one. I said, "Listen, dude, I'm stuck in Thailand, right?" So he sends me over £250, right? So I'm like, sound. I ended up getting an extra 3 days out of that and the flight home. So
Wicked.
Thailand's cheap then. I had one of those.
Sorry, you were saying? No, carry on. Sorry.
I had one of the open-ended tickets, so it was only going to cost me 150 quid to actually, when I knew I was coming home, just to book the ticket and leave. But then I came out, and then we'd overstayed the visa, so we ended up getting pulled into the office, them shouting at us, fining us, and all sorts. Like, look, my flight's going to leave in a minute. Look, let's sort this out. But we managed to get out of there, but we had to pay a few $100.
Yeah, that's not. You have to. Money talks over there, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Yeah. The rest of the stories, well, yeah.
What's that?
I said the rest of the stories are of.
Can you tell those on air or not?
No.
I can guess.
Yeah, Thailand. You live in Thailand, so you know the score there.
Oh yeah. That's why I live there.
Yeah.
Now I forgot what I was going to say. Now I'm thinking about that.
I bet.
Yeah, I can't stand up for a minute. What's it called? So, do you have a good relationship with your dad? Did he help you coming through and all that, or was it? Because you've mentioned him a few times, like.
Oh nah.
Oh, no one to ask. No one to answer.
Nah. We'll leave that one. We'll leave that one here.
I'm not here trying to just chat and shit. You know what I mean? So, what else have I got to ask you? What else have I got written down? That's all the questions I've got for you, unless there's anything else you want to talk about. What's your future aims in life? Sorry, man, one last thing. What's your future aims in life when you finish fighting? Have you got an idea for that or not?
Yeah, I'm going to continue on with the in the fight game. I want to coach. I want to start moving towards opening up a school, and try just give that a go for a few years to see, and just help. So my town where I'm from, Kings Lynn. I'm back here now. You know, I knew growing up we didn't have too much going on. You know what I mean? It was fucking go down the town, start getting in punch ups, and there's a lot of drugs on the streets. There's just a lot of trouble. But so I hope, and it's still the same now. You know, they kind of float through school, and when they finish school, they don't really know. They end up getting in the fucking wrong crowds, and so hopefully, if I can give somebody if you're fighting for something worthwhile, like even if it's fighting on a local show, you've put in that 8 weeks of training, 12 weeks of training, whatever it is, right? It's satisfaction. As soon as you've done something, you've achieved something, you know what, and it feels so good. You want to do it again and again. And then if you really like it, you know, I want to try and give these people around here that opportunity, if possible, you know. So all I can do is I can open up my doors, right? If for people to come in, now that's down to them. But I will be there so I can try and help.
That's really cool, man. Because it's going to be worse now after this as well. Because there's no jobs, is there? You know,
exactly
the jobs have disappeared.
Yeah.
You know, I'm quite worried about what's happening with the world. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to get into it. I spent about 3 hours ranting to it, if you know what I mean. It's not something I want to do.
I think every conversation goes over to that side, and we will try. Because I'm the same. I've been yelling. I've been getting tattooed and just like this and that and like that. Just stop watching the TV, mate. That's all you got to do. Stop watching the TV, and it cancels it out. So
yeah, delete Facebook, and you're laughing, aren't you?
Don't even worry about Facebook. Yeah.
So, there was one thing. Right, that was the one question. Because I'm going to be speaking to a guy called Nick Chapman. I don't know if you know him. He's a UK fighter, MMA fighter, and he'd done great things about getting sponsorships and that. So, and he's doing something for young fighters, trying to get for young fighters. What would to close on this? What would your advice be to any young fighters on one, getting sponsorship, building your brand and things? You know what I mean? Because you were really recognisable really quickly within Bellator. You know what I mean? And I looked out for you when I was watching Bellator. You know, so what advice would you give someone?
Sell yourself. You have to sell yourself. This social. I was never a social media interested in the social media, you know, and it's. But that really is where it goes. You know, it's if you get on your social media regularly, update it. Keep people posted on what's going on, train hard, and don't be deterred, because you're going to get told no a lot of times, and you can't do this, and it should be done this way, and you can't do that. Training's going to suck. You have to persevere, and you have to keep fighting. It's all a constant uphill battle, and when you've done it, you have to train even harder. You know what I mean? So it's never really over until you literally say, right, that's it, done. It's over, right? But until that day, just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. You're only going to know when that day comes. Not somebody else isn't going to tell you that. You're the only person who's going to know it.
All right, thanks. Because that's one of the reasons I started this, so I could give like younger fighters, especially, a platform to do it. You know what I mean? And like you're coming on now, you're high level in your career. You know what I mean? You're doing really well and everything, and like. You're still coming onto these shows. You're giving me a lift, really, by being on here more than anything, like, you know, and I appreciate that.
No problem, man. You know, I like to chat.
What's that?
I said I like to have a chat.
Me too. That's another reason why I like this. You know what I mean? I get to talk to people that are interested. But, you know, it's like I see a lot of fighters just going out and they're the same as everybody else, you know. I'll fight anyone you want me to fight. And they just say the same. And it's like, stand out, man. Say something, even if it's like, you don't have to make friends with everyone, you know what I mean? Just to make sure.
Exactly that.
And like you, just being ready, taking them fight after fight after fight, that 2-year period you had, that made you really, didn't you reckon?
It did, yeah. But then it broke me as well. So now I'm trying to fix myself and get back in there. But yeah, I think
would you have got to where you got if you hadn't took those 8 fights? Do you reckon? We'll never know, will we? But you know, that regular fighting, you were so used to being in the octagon all the Bellator days, weren't you?
Exactly, that was it. And I was always in the B side as well. I wasn't meant to win any of them fights. I wasn't meant to be where I was at. And they were like, what? This motherfucker keeps winning? And even my coach, my striking coach at that time as well, I wasn't working with him. And he saw a couple of my fights. And he's like, he's seen me around the gym and he's like, he keeps winning. He's like, he sucks. So he got hold of me and then, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it definitely was the fact that it was just one after another, like a fight. Then I'd be in the gym again the next week. And then I train again, keep training. And they'd be like, we've got a fight coming up. Yeah, put me down on the card. And then draw another one. Plus the fact I wasn't getting paid very much money. So I kind of needed to fucking fight just to fucking put some food in front of me. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it all added up. And it was all, it was just all, everything all pieced together. Just kind of was like, right, you're fighting every 2 or 3 months, I think.
You don't have to talk about figures if you don't, but did you get more from sponsorship or did you get more from show and win or whatever?
Oh man, I was an Islander who turned up with fucking a tattoo on his nipple. That was all they thought I was. Nothing, no money. My first fight, I ended up having given them fucking money. They wanted me to sell tickets. Oh, they wanted me to sell tickets. I was supposed to sell 75 tickets, right? I didn't even know fucking 75 people, let alone sell 75 tickets. So, just come to America.
Pro fight?
That was for Bellator, my first pro fight, yeah. So they took over half of they got paid more out of my person than I did.
Fuck. Wow, man.
So listen, like I said, with the young fighters that are coming into the sport, there's a lot of things which will get thrown your way, and you'll be like, "You fucking wanker," you know what I mean? Like, but you can't. You got to get on with it. You got to do it. It sucks, but you know what? They're just going to get the next person. Oh, you don't want it? Okay. Oh, this guy behind you will just jump in your place, and that's what this sport is. Just a conveyor belt of people.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. Like Mark was talking about how much money he made, you know, when he had a fight, and then you take your camp out of it. Once you take the tax out of it, the camp out of it. It's like, because everyone sees you on TV and thinks you're a fucking millionaire, aren't you? Yes. You know what I mean? So, and it's like I'm explaining to friends, going, no, that they earn this and this, and by the time you took that 50% for tax or whatever it is out, and then the agent, your management fee, and then you pay for your camp, you're not left with a lot, like, you know what I mean? It's a tough business for getting in the face for it as well, like, you know. Exactly
that. But I mean, it started out about the money. I was like, yeah, I want to do this for the money, do it, like. But then it was more because of my passion for fighting. Like, it was I don't know what the fuck it is, but I just enjoyed scrapping with people. Like, there's nothing bad about it. I wasn't trying to be a dick about it, but at the end of the day, when you're drunk, it fucking comes away, fucking let's go, you know, let's have it, come on, you know what I mean? But when it was turned around into the sport, and I was like, shit, we can get paid for doing it. I was like, fucking sign me up. And I spent all day, every day in the gym, and I loved it. It was a proper gym rat, you know, and it was just, if I could fight everyone, all my mates on a daily basis, and then I go out, you still get people trying to cause fights, and you just look at them and like, listen, mate, you're not worth it. Like, I get a good challenge with my friends. You're not, back in the day, yeah, man, I would have fucking, don't even fucking sweat it. I'd have smacked you and you'd been unconscious straight away. But now, I like to somebody's fighting back, and yeah, it's good. It's good fun.
So you prefer the fight, not the sport?
I mean,
what
to me,
do you see as a fight or a sport?
I don't see fighting as.
I think there's.
I see fighting as the fight, right? I see jiu-jitsu as the sport. I see wrestling as the sport.
Yeah.
I see all of the martial arts all as a sport. But for fighting, I don't see it as a sport. I just see it as it's a fight. You know what I mean? It's a fight where you're putting everything into you can call it a sport, but it's in my head, it's not a sport. It's more of it's a fight. That's a fight.
So from that, I'm guessing would have liked Valley Tudo days.
Yes, mate. Like I said, if I'd have known about this when I was 17, 18, fuck me, I would have been fucking tying steel. That's for sure, or laying bricks. Lighting fires underneath a mixer just to get the thing started, defrosted on them cold mornings, scraping the ice off of it. No way. Like, you get paid for fighting. Like, fucking. But yeah. But I didn't get into it when I was 29, so there you go. No regrets.
No. My martial arts career, it's not a fucking career, but my martial arts story didn't start till I was, about 42. Really. So it's like, but it'd have been nicer if I'd have got into it earlier, but, it is what it is. I've done what I did, you know what I mean? I was living I thought I was a rock star for years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Drills, pills and belly.
Yeah.
So any sponsors you want to mention before we call it a day?
I don't have any, mate. You know what, right? I'm gonna give you this. Right? No, I will. Right. So, my boys who have had my back from day one, Gamma Labs was always there for us, right? They looked after me, and nothing but love for that sponsorship. Future Legend, another one. He was always there for me, helped me out. He was a good man. So Future, and Bobby Azad from Azad Watchers. He's my brother, man. So those three companies, those three people, like they looked out for me, and they had my interests from day one. And still, Bobby Azad will always text me and ask how I'm getting on. I'll talk to him. So yeah, those are the guys that my sponsorships that I'll shout out.
Okay, wicked, mate. Anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, I'm going to go eat some food now because I can smell it, and it's I'm getting quite hungry.
Yeah, I had to have something just before, in between. Like, I was like,
yeah,
I feel better.
I know. I saw the
nice one.
I saw the message come through. I was like, shit, it was 5 o'clock. I was like, yeah.
I know what he's told, mate. All right, cheers for today, mate. And
no problem, man.
Hope it goes well. Hope
Thanks very much.
Take care. Peace out, bro. Bye bye.
All the best, mate. All the best. Bye bye.